He said, stop thinking about activity for weight loss and start thinking about moving your body to retain your functional skills. That's what my physiotherapist said to me at my appointment on Friday. Now, I've lost 12.5 stone, 12 stone, 8 pounds, 180 pounds to be exact. And I told him that, and he was like, good, that's good, it's great for your health. But what are you doing for functional skills? And I thought, well, I walk. He said, how often do you walk? I says, maybe about, 4 or 5 times a week. I do aim to walk every day, but realistically, about maybe 3 to 4 times a week. How long are you walking for? I set a goal, minimum of 10 minutes. 10 minutes, he said. Okay, that's a good start. He said, is there anything else that you do? I says, well, I love gardening. I'm always in the garden. He says, okay. Anything else? What about your lifestyles, hobbies? How do you move? I was like, that's about it, to be honest. And he said, you need to change your mindset and you need to get active and build those functional skills, not for weight loss, but to keep you moving and active in the future. He said, let me tell you, he said, you're 58. He said, you're young. He said, I see patients in their 70s and 80s with your limitations, but you are young. He said, you need to change your mindset and move your body more. He said, what you're doing now is a great start, but you need to move more. I had a proper telling off. Proper. And what it was, I had an appointment with my physiotherapist. I see my physiotherapist about once a month, and I've been seeing him now for probably about 7 or 8 months now. And I was referred to my physiotherapist because in January 2025 I fell over and I hurt my shoulder. I did quite a lot of damage to my shoulder, and the first step in my recovery is building strength around the muscles. He said that there's like a couple of tears in the shoulder, in the muscles, and the way to get my strength back is to do exercises to build the muscles around the tear so it can strengthen. If that fails, then longer term they're looking at surgery. So I went to him with that, and each month he's giving me exercises to do and I'm practicing them and everything. And then I had steroid injection, and steroids sort of cleared all the inflammation and made everything a bit easier. And then he started to look at my hip because I have the osteoarthritis in the hip and also bursitis. So we started doing some exercises for that. And then I fell over again in August, and I busted my arm, and it turned out I overextended the muscles and the tendons in my arm, and even though it was August, I still have problems with my arm and I can't straighten my arm fully. So we started looking at that, and when he gave me some exercises for that, I said, oh, can I tell you about my knee? Because when I had that fall, I actually landed on my knee and on my arm, and he looked at my knee and he said, stop. He said, what we're doing, and I hadn't even come on to me back, mention that bit later, and he said stop. He says, you're presenting with a lot of musculoskeletal and joint issues. He says, I understand that because of your lupus and the arthritis and all the rest of it. He said, but Angela, he said, I see patients in their 70s and their 80s with exactly your type of complaint. He said, you are young in the scheme of things. You are young. He said, you need to change your mindset. You need to change your lifestyle. Otherwise, in the next 5 or 10 years' time, you'll be in so much pain. Your joints will have seized up that much. You'll have no quality of life. So that's when he asked me, well, what am I doing? I says, I walk, and God, it's not enough. It's not enough. So it really was a big wake-up call, because I struggle with getting up and down stairs because my knees are bad. I struggle with like carrying shopping bags. My arms and my hips, my shoulders are bad. I struggle with my hands. I've got really bad arthritis in my hands. It also given me activities for my hands as well, and my feet. Every joint in my body he'd given me key exercises for. And so he said, what I want you to do is to start going to Aquafit at least twice a week. Go to Aquafit. He said, when you do that regularly, you're going to notice an improvement all over your body. It's going to target your shoulders, your back, your hips, your knees. It says it's going to target everything. You're in the water, you're weightless, and you're working, the water's your resistance. And I said to him, do you know what? I used to do Aquafit years ago. And he goes, how did it make you feel? I says, I used to feel wonderful, absolutely wonderful when I used to do that. And it got me thinking. I used to do it 4 times a week, and I didn't have as much aches and pains, and I slept really well. My mindset was very different, and I felt good. And then he said, well, what changed? I says, the world of work. I changed my job, and now I couldn't fit in those classes, so I just stopped going, and I stopped swimming, stopped going to the pool, stopped doing it all. And he goes, well, that's interesting, isn't it? And he says, have you noticed an increase in your reduced mobility since you stopped going? And I thought about it, and I thought, actually, yes. I know that I've aged. I know that I've got, been diagnosed with other health conditions. But yeah, actually, my mobility wasn't as bad. My mobility has always been bad, but it wasn't as bad. Yeah, the bursitis and the pain in my hip, it's always been there, but it wasn't as bad. I wasn't on as much pain medication as I am now. And he said, well, I think you've found your answer. You need to start doing it more. And it made me think, I'm going to start. I'm going to change. Things are changing. This mindset of, my mindset when it comes to food and drink is brilliant. That's what's led me to losing 180 pounds. But this mindset is now over, that I'm going to do the minimum amount. That mindset is gone. And now I'm going to take responsibility. I have to take responsibility, and I'm taking responsibility for me and my health. I shouldn't have to have a physiotherapist tell me that I need to go back to Aquafit. I shouldn't have to. When I realised that, and I got home and I thought about it, I felt disappointed in myself. And I felt that I'd let myself down to the point that somebody external has to tell me to do these exercises, to move my body and to get back to aquafit, I felt really disappointed. And I thought somewhere along the line, I've not taken responsibility for my health. And, you know, here in this country, we've got the NHS, we've got access to doctors and medical professionals, physiotherapists, you know, all sorts of services we can access. We've got access to medication. I'm on a lot of medication every single day. We've got access to all of that. And somewhere along the line, I've stopped taking responsibility for my health, knowing that I can rely on those services. And I thought, no, it has to change. I am making a change with the same determination that I made a change years ago to lose weight and to keep it off. I'm making that commitment to myself to move my body, to strengthen my body, and to retain and build good functional skills. So thinking about this, you know, in the weight loss industry, they would say, right, you've got to take accountability. And I think that is the second step. The first step is I have to take responsibility. I am responsible for me and my health, not my physiotherapist, not my doctor, not my consultants at hospital, me. I'm responsible for that. And I want to connect to my deeper why. I don't want to rely on the NHS for appointments. I don't want to rely on them for medication. I'm costing the NHS a fortune, just me on my own. And yes, I will always be up the hospital and up the doctor just by the nature of my health. But I can take responsibility and reduce that and not be referred to other specialists. I can take responsibility for that. And in connecting to my deeper why, I've realised that motivation has to come from within. It can't come from external places. So the fact that my physiotherapist has told me to get myself into the pool and get into aquafit, that's one level of motivation. Because to be honest, I was like, actually, that's a good idea. I need to get back to that. That's one level. But it has to be deeper than that. Because by next week, if I was relying on that, I'd forget what he said. So it has to be deeper. So the appointment was on Friday. And Friday night, I really took some time. I sat down and I thought about my deeper why. And I thought, I want to be able to move. I'm 58. I'm 59 in a few weeks. I want to be able to move my body way into my 80s, 90s. I saw a video the other day of a lady and she's like in her 90s and she's like in the gym lifting weights and, you know, and then I saw another video of a lady, she's 100 years old and she still wears her high heels and gets nails done and she gets all dressed up. She's completely independent and goes off to church. And I was like, that's what I want to be like in my hundreds. I'm still running around with my grandchildren. I want to be able to get up and down stairs. I want to be able to do my own shopping, do my own cooking. I want to get to that grand old age and be functional. So I don't want to be in pain anymore, or I want that pain to be reduced. Well, I don't want to be in pain. Let me just reiterate. I don't want to be in pain. I just don't want it. Every day of my life, I've lived in pain. I don't want it anymore. And I know that that's by the nature of my health condition. And I want to improve my life and my health so that I can minimise that as much as possible. I want to be on less meds. And I want to come off my medication. I don't want to live on painkillers every single day. I'm on painkillers. I'm on medication for my diabetes, my lupus. I have eye drops for my eyes. I have medication because of the Raynaud's disease in my hands and my toes. Yeah, I'm on painkillers. I'm on a lot of medication. I don't want it anymore. I want to be able to feel good about myself. Well, I do feel good, but I want to feel better. I want to wake up in the morning and not think, oh, I've got to take these medications, or I've got to put my eye drops in, or at night I've got to take more medication and I've got to put ointment on my eyes. I've got to take I don't want it anymore. I want to be able to just live my life without having to take medication, without every month a bag of medication being dropped off by the pharmacist. I don't want it anymore. I want to be able to walk without pain, walk without my walking stick, sit down and get up without the pain in my knees. I want to look at this flight of stairs and say, do you know what? That's a breeze. I can get up there, no problem, without looking at the stairs and, becoming overcome with dread. Don't want that anymore. It starts with taking responsibility. Me taking responsibility for me. And I made a commitment to myself on Friday. Commitment over comfort. It's easy for me to say, oh, I'll take the lift instead of taking the stairs. Easy for me to say, oh, it's raining today, I'm not going to go for that walk. It's easy for me to say, oh, I'll just sit in this comfy sofa without getting up and doing a few stretches. No, not anymore. Commitment over comfort. So in taking responsibility, I want to be accountable too. And I decided I'm going to define some actionable goals for myself. Now, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, do you know what Angela's saying is so real, I'm so with it, I need to do the same, then you might feel that you want an accountability partner. Then find one, go for it. Message me, come and join my community, come and join our channel membership. I'll be your accountability partner. And a lot of people find that having somebody to be accountable to really, really helps them. So absolutely go for it. I'm using my physiotherapist as my accountability partner, as I see him once a month. But I've defined myself some goals, and I've decided I am still going to walk minimum of 10 minutes a day, and I'm going to increase that to at least 15 minutes a day as a minimum. Now, when I do my regular walks, it's actually 20 minutes because it's 10 minutes down to the shop and 10 minutes back, but I'm just going to extend it just a little bit. So I'm going to increase that. But I'm also going to continue with my garden. I love my garden. It's my therapy as well as exercise. So I'm still going to continue that. But what I am going to now do is what I did was I signed up to a gym. I signed back up to my old gym that I used to go to for Aquafit. And I was like, right, take accountability and do it. So I signed up and I decided I am going to go to Aquafit at least twice a week. And I went on and I found all the sessions that I could do. And I'm going to rearrange things so that I can get there. Make room in my life for it. So twice a week I'm going to go to Aquafit, and at least once a week I'm going to go for a swim, sauna and steam session. So that's just in the for an hour, You just book for an hour and you access the main pool and you can just swim up and down, and then afterwards go for a steam and sauna. So once a week I'm going to do that. And that is my actionable goals. And I decided that on Friday, and I was so committed to me, commitment over comfort, that I decided I'm going to go tomorrow. I'm going to get started, because the first aquafit session I can actually do, that they've got spaces for, is on Tuesday. And I thought, no, I'm not going to wait till Tuesday. I'm going to buy my membership to yesterday, Saturday, and I'm going to go for my first swim session. So I booked it, and you know what, guys, the first step is always the hardest. It's always the hardest. And I booked it, and I even said to my son, I'm going back to the gym. And I was like, good on you, Mum. And then I was thinking of all the excuses, all the reasons I shouldn't go. If you've ever been like that, guys, give me a thumbs up if you're ever like that. If you decide to do something and then you're thinking of all the reasons you shouldn't go. And I'm like, well, I do need to pop out to the shops. So I'll go, instead of going at 12, I'll go at 4. And then I'm like, no, Angela, just book it for 3 o'clock. And then you think, but I'm going to work on the garden first and then I'll go. But then after I've finished working on the garden, I'll probably be too tired. And I know that my back and my arms and my hips are going to be sore. So I better like leave it and book it tomorrow. And all of these excuses were just running around and around and around in my head. And I said, girl, commitment over comfort. Pick up your bag and get out the door. So I did. And even the things that I needed to take back to the shop. And as I'm going into my local town, I thought, let me go to the shops first. And let me do this first, and let me do that first. And then I did all of that, and then I looked at the time. I thought, oh, it's 20 to 3. I won't have time to go there. And I'm like, Angela, just stop. If you've ever been like that, guys, it was fear. I recognised it was fear. It was nervousness. It was the uncertainty. Why? I don't know, because I used to go to that gym years ago, and it's a really, really beautiful gym, state of the art, really nice. And I don't, yeah. So anyway, I just said, stop thinking about it. Just go. And I went, and I had a brilliant time. Loved it. Loved being in the pool. Swam about 4 times with breaks in between. Did one length, had to have a stop. Swam back, had to have a stop. And each time I stopped, I was just doing like running on the spot in the water, or doing a few moves in the water and all of that, and then another length, and doing that, and then went for steam, went for sauna. Absolutely loved it. And I thought, why did you stop? Why did you ever stop? Even when my working hours changed, I could have fitted it in on the evenings and the weekends. I have to take responsibility. For me and my health. Because, in January, by Easter, I want to stop seeing the physiotherapist. I want to get to a point where my functionality is so improved I don't need to see him. That's my goal. That's what I'm aiming for. So where are we? November, December, January. I've got an appointment in December, January, February, March, April. I'm giving myself 5 months so he can get me off his books and free up that space for somebody else. So, yeah, I'm taking accountability. First, I'm taking responsibility, and then I'm making myself accountable. And then I'm going to have that check-in with my physio. And then within that, I've thought about my setback recovery plan, because accountability isn't just about the cheerleading, isn't about the flag waving, it isn't just about the success, it's also about recognizing the setbacks and the failures and the times that come rain or high water, I just cannot go. There will be times like that, and I have to, within be taking responsibility and being accountable, I have to set some parameters. I have to be honest with myself. I have to quit those excuses like yesterday. It might run around in my head, but I have to get to a point where I say, come on now, just do it. Just do it. And I have to acknowledge all of that too. I realise I have to stop and analyse what's going on with me, Angela. What's going on? Like I did yesterday, and recognised it was fear. It was just fear. It was that first step. The first step is always the hardest. And once I've got over that first step, but you know what happened? After that first step, I enjoyed it so much. I rang my daughter-in-law and I said, look, I'll take my grandkids swimming today. That's how much I enjoyed it. I'm taking them swimming this afternoon. So yeah, it was just getting over that first step. So I have to analyse and not dwell on any challenges that come up. But the other thing that I've set myself is a never miss twice rule. So my rule is I'm never going to miss a session twice. There might be a circumstance or a situation that I have to miss one session, but I'm never going to miss it twice. Never. Those are my rules, my parameters, my guidelines. That's me taking responsibility and being accountable. So guys, my physiotherapist, he was very firm with me, but I so needed it. And now I'm thinking about a new journey, which isn't about weight loss, because I've lost the bulk of my weight. Yes, I still have a little bit of weight to lose, but that's going to come off. It's going to come off. Now my new journey is about functionality. So it's moving my body and getting fit and active, not to lose weight loss. It's kind of like when I ditched the weight loss clubs, I decided to eat well to nourish my body, and as a result of that I lost weight and have kept it off. And likewise, now I'm moving my body because I want to have those functional skills. I want to be able to get up and down the stairs without pain. I want to get in and out of bed without discomfort. I want to be able to carry my shopping bags. I want to be able to wash my own hair and scratch my own back and put my own clothes on. I want to be able to drive and hold the steering wheel. I want to be able to do those things. So my focus is about moving my body for those functional skills and to strengthen my body. And as a result of that, if it helps me lose the last stone in weight, the last 10-15 pounds, brilliant. But my focus is about building those functional skills. So hopefully I should have less pain in my shoulder. I should be able to straighten out my arm, my knee. I shouldn't have so much pain in my knees, and I should be able to straighten my knee. I won't have as much pain in my hips. I should be able to walk that much better. And for further as well, I'll be able to lie down at night without the pain in my hips bothering me. I should have less pain in my feet as well. My toes are curling up. I've got hammer toes. So I'm doing all of these different things. I'll need to buy some stress balls so I can, you know, work on my fingers. I do have Raynaud's in my fingers, so I need to keep strengthening those. You know, I'm gonna, when I swim, it's gonna strengthen my back as well. I'm looking forward to the future, and I'm so glad my physiotherapist didn't mince his words and gave me a few home truths. That he sees that I'm young, and he sees people in their 80s with mobility challenges like me, and I shouldn't be there. I know. So guys, there you go. I hope you found this of interest and inspiring. I know I really needed to hear it. And sometimes the truth does hurt, but it can really make a difference to us. So guys, is there anything you need to change? Is there anything you need to say, come on, stop making excuses and just get it done? Is there something that, you know, you wish you had somebody to hold, you know, to help you with that accountability? And remember guys, accountability is fine, but take responsibility first. Take responsibility for it. And when years ago, I made that tiny shift, because everybody in the weight loss community was like, oh yeah, I need to be accountable. That's fine, but where's responsibility? Fine, you have to be responsible. Take responsibility first, and then we can be, you know, find that accountability partner. We can find the Facebook group to post in. We can find the buddy that's going to hold us accountable. But that's going to wither off unless we take responsibility. And when I took responsibility for my weight and the fact that I was making poor food choices, and I wasn't, you know, didn't know enough about nutrition, and I was eating what the industry told me was healthy. When I took responsibility for what I was putting in my body, everything shifted. So yeah, I'm excited about this new journey. Give me a thumbs up if you're with me. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you want more of this good stuff and the real life experiences that I share, all about my weight loss journey, then hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell. And also, if you found it of value, share it with somebody. Share it with somebody who might need to hear this. Yeah, I'm more than happy for you to share. Guys, we are on the road to 3,000 subscribers, and we're not that far off. I would love to get there by the end of January. So if you are not subscribed, then hit that subscribe button and also click the notification bell. Drop a comment, and also now you can hype up the video if you found it of value. Guys, whatever you do, have a lovely, lovely day, and I'll see you soon. I'm off to pick my grandkids up and we're going for a swim. I'll see you soon. Bye.